Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. It's already time for June's TBR. I had all of these on my TBR in the month of May. I only managed to finish Is Everyone Hanging Out Without Me, which was my buzzword-a-thon book, and DNF 5 Years From Now by Paige Toon. Including that one DNF, I only read 6 books in the month of May, which for me is not good. Usually I read like in the teen numbers. Usually between 14 and 19 is my average. But May was not it for me, and I still haven't gotten back to my reading mojo. So part of me is like, oh well, maybe I shouldn't even film June TBR, because what if I do really, really poorly on June's TBR too? Then that's not gonna be fun. Also, I usually start with 5 turns, and I don't think I've had a month where I literally didn't read anything. One. I DNF'd 1 book from that list, but I didn't even attempt to read any of those books over there. So usually what happens is if I don't finish my TBR, then I add an extra turn. So that'd be 6 turns. But like I said, I'm not even reading currently. Like, I'm still not reading. So this scares me, but I think we should do it anyway. So I think we're gonna start with 6 turns. I also need to talk about TBR Knockout, which is a challenge that Mel from Completely Melanie does on her channel. In May, I completely failed it. We had 2 prompts. The 2 prompts were May the 4th be with you. I was also supposed to read a sci-fi, and I was gonna read Dark Matter, but I didn't get around to it. I did get to my buzzword, though. It's every for everyone. So you had to pick a book that had the word every, and I remember when I was planning my yearly TBR, I'm like, ooh, that's one where I could vlog for the entire week of only reading every books, or books with every in the title. Clearly that didn't happen, but I had a lot of options and I could have done that. But May really got to me, okay? I don't know if it was the end of the school year and I just had like the blues, or I just had other things going on personally. Either way, it doesn't really matter. I didn't really do a good job as a booktuber or as a reader, but I'm not gonna be mad at myself. I'm not gonna be any more mad at myself. I'm just gonna let it go. We're gonna say that May's TBR did not go well, but June's will go better. Let's start with buzzword, which is what Kayla from Books and Lala does every year. She hosts it. I don't have a single book that would work for this, but in June you're supposed to pick a book with repeating words, like They're There, which is not on my TBR because I have no idea what it's about. I'm not, as of right now, I'm not interested, but I don't have any books with repeating words, So I could use some recommendations. I might just go to my library and pick like a book that has repeating words or something. Hopefully. We'll see. 2 prompts. The first one is to read a LGBT book, and for that I'm gonna read A Dash of Salt and Pepper by Kazuko Jackson. This is a male romance. It's also a foodish romance, which I've realized is one of my favorite things. And I think that this guy over here is a chef, and I think that this cook starts working with him, and then they like work together, and then they like fall in love, and I'm actually really hyped for this one. The other book, or the other prompt, is to read like an ace or a pansexual book. So for this, I believe that Loveless by Alice Oseman counts for this. I'm a little bit nervous for this one because I've never really liked Alice Oseman's books. I know I'm the outlier here, but I also don't like young adult books anymore, and I'm pretty sure Loveless is a young adult book about this girl who is asexual. Don't quote me on it, I haven't read it, but I do want to. I believe it's on my Kindle. So those will hopefully be read in June, and now we have to take our 6 turns on my game board. I still don't know where my little troll is, so I'm gonna use this like little tiny neck bracelet that I have. It'll go right there, and then we'll take our first roll, which is a fiction book. And I believe it's orange, right? Orange are the prompts. Yellow is someone else picking. Ooh. First chapter challenge. You know what? First chapter challenge might have just saved me. Because like I said, I haven't gotten my mojo back with reading. But my first chapter challenge is basically try a chapter tag, and whichever one you were intrigued by the most is the one that you're going to end up reading. So we landed on fiction, which means it could be anything from like historical fiction to lit fic to classic fiction to women's fiction. 4 of these are literary fiction, which it was my goal at the beginning of the year to read 20 of my 25 lit fic books this year. I think I've read 2 in the entire year, so I'm behind. So it would be pretty good if I got one of these. However, I have this one historical fiction. Like, I don't read a lot of historical fiction. I literally have 2 more on my shelf over there, and that's it. Like, I'm not a historical fiction girly, but there are some times when I'm like, that might be kind of cool. So, let's start with the historical fiction for the try a chapter tag. This is The Dollhouse by Fiona Davis. This follows a model in 1952 in New York, right? And she's enrolling in school, like model school, I think. Don't quote me on it. I don't know, but this one actually sounds exciting. I think most of these deal with things that are very important to me. So this one is The Love Story of Missy Carmichael by Beth Morey. This one is a literary fiction about this girl, or about this woman. She's 79 years old. She's a librarian. She found her role as a housewife and a mom less than satisfying, so now she doesn't really talk to her kids, but she gets a dog or something. I'm not entirely sure, but I feel like this one's gonna make me cry. I think I picked all 3 of those, or all 4 of the lit fics, because they're gonna make me cry, and that's kind of what I want. So then there's Somewhere Out There by Amy Hadavani. This was on a TBR earlier this year, and I started it, couldn't handle it, put it down. But it's about these 2 girls who go into the foster care system, and they get separated even though they're sisters, and it's about their different lives. Like, one of them was 2 when they went into the system, and I think she got adopted fairly quickly, but her sister just went from foster care to foster care to foster home to foster home, and was in the system from the time she was 7 until she aged out at 18, I believe. It's a very impactful story, and I have technically read the first chapter, and it was a good first chapter, but I think I'll reread it. Then another one about motherhood is Fates and Furies by Lauren Groff. I think it's about this woman who really wants to be a mom but can't have kids, which is like relatable. And then Mercy Street by Jennifer Hagg. This, I believe, follows this clinic where they do abortions, and I think you follow one of the nurses that works at Mercy Street. So one of these will be on my TBR, but that does mean that I get another video idea, which is great because I've been in a reading slump and a video slump. So yay, video, and I get to pick one of those. So let's go to roll number 2 of 6. Alright, roll number 2 is right here. I got another one, which is another fiction that was published in 2023. It has been a long time because we got a fiction book that was published in 2023, and I don't have any. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a 7th turn, and there will be 7 books plus the TBR knockout book and the buzzword book that I don't know what that is yet. Yeah, let's that's okay. So our new fiction prompt . Okay, I don't even know what this one means. Read according to my birthday. Oh, wait, you know what? I do know what that means. Okay, so I was watching a booktuber. If I can find them, I'll link them, but I don't remember who it was, so we'll see. That basically is like your month and the day that you were born. So you'd go, for me, it's April, so I'd go to shelf number 4 and count 9 books. It doesn't matter how you do it. That's just how, you know, like once you get that book, that's what you're gonna do. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, which is all my new to me books, and then I just have to count 9. The only thing is that read according to my birthday kind of overrules the genre. So if the 9th book is not a some kind of fiction, like historical fiction, literary fiction, women's fiction, or anything like that, then it doesn't matter what the book is. It's just, that's the book I'm gonna read. I hope that makes sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh. So my birthday is April 9th. So the 9th book on my 4th shelf is Never Have I Ever by Jocelyn Jackson. This is like a suburban-y type thriller. You know, this woman's new to the neighborhood, and I think it's kind of like Desperate Housewives, and then someone gets murdered during a party. All right, roll number 3. I don't even know what I want to read, so I kind of want something besides fiction this time. Although, we only have one thriller, one fiction. Okay, let's see. 5 is a wild card. Okay. Oh no, I'm scared. I'm scared. Blind pick? Okay, so here's how blind pick works. Usually I just go over to a shelf, I close my eyes, and I grab a book. However, the last time I did this, I had my husband move around some of my books and put them, I have most of an empty shelf over there, so I'm gonna see if him or my brother-in-law, he's out there working, so I might see if my brother-in-law is free to just put random books on that shelf, and the first one that I touch is the one that I'm supposed to read. Yeah, let's see if we can make this happen. I found my brother-in-law George and decided to have him put all my books on that empty shelf right there, and the first one that I touch is going to be the one that I end up reading. Alright, my eyes are shut. I'll even put my hand over my eyes. Is
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Perfect. This one.
Oh wait, not that one. I'm just kidding.
Ooh! Okay, this is The Wishing Game by Mike Schaefer. This was my favorite book last year.
Oh.
So, it's a reread about this magical island that this writer, he stopped writing books, and then he sends all of the people that used to read his books to this magical island, and the winner of this competition gets to keep his entire net worth.
Oh wow.
And it was really, really good. It made me cry, so yay, I'm gonna cry again. Okay, so for a blind pick, George put a bunch of books on that shelf because it's mostly empty most of the time, you know, until I get more books to put there. And one of the books that he put was The Wishing Game, which was one of my favorites of last year. And it came out almost exactly a year ago. Or actually, this June TBR, this came out June 2023. I absolutely loved this book. I didn't think I would, but it was great. It's kind of short. It's also a reread, and I've been slumping so hard. So I think a reread might be what I need. All right, let's go to book number 4. All right, here is our next turn. Right here. Okay, it is another 5. All right, I swear it says roll number 5. So I do like the wild card because it brings, you know, wildness to my TBR, but someone else gets to pick, so okay, I'm gonna go let him know that he has to pick a book. Okay, so turn number 4 landed us on wild card again, so George's name came up, which means that he got to pick a book for me. He is picking a book that he owns, and he's gonna let me borrow it. So it's called Other Tears, an inclusive anthology. So, an anthology of original horror stories edited by Vince A. Laguna and Rena Mason that showcase authors from historically excluded backgrounds telling terrifying tales of what it means to be or merely to seem other. offering new stories from some of the biggest names in horror as well as some of the hottest up-and-coming talents. Other Terrors will provide the ultimate reading experience for horror fans who want to examine fear of the other, be they of a different culture, a different background, a different sexual orientation or gender identity, a different belief system, or a different skin color. Some people simply aren't part of the community's majority and are perceived as scary. Ooh. Okay, I think that will be perfect for Pride Month. So, turn number 5 is another 5. Oh my gosh, another wild card. Okay, that one I like though. So for what should have been my last turn, if I had finished my TBR and also hadn't had to take another extra turn, I got free pick, which is perfect. For that, I'm going to read Undercover Bromance by Lisa K. Adams. If I remember correctly, this is the last one that I've read of the Bromance Book Club. However, I don't think that I liked it the first time I read it. But I do really want to try this entire series again. I would love to finish the series before the end of the year. So I have 6 months to finish 3 more books, right? No, 4 more. If I read the Christmas novella story, romance. Anyways, I read Undercover Bromance last month in May. It was one of the 5 books that I read in May, and I really enjoyed it. It was really cute, and I'm just hoping for another good time in the Bromance Book Club world. If you don't know what the Bromance Book Club is yet, in the first one you follow this man who is reading historical fiction novels, historical romances, to win his wife back, and because he found out that she has been faking the big O their entire marriage, and it really upset his ego. So then he's like, no, I don't want to lose my wife. So the boys were just like, oh, well, we have this book club and we read romance and we talk about how we can woo our significant other and, you know, just make sure that everything goes good in our marriage. And it was funny and wholesome and so fun. So Undercover Bromance, I believe they're reading a romantic suspense now, and this time you follow Braden Mack. Thinks reading romance novels makes him an expert in love, but he'll soon discover real life is better than fiction. So this is Braden, and this is Gavin Scott. Okay, so Gavin and Thea are the couple in here. And then this is Braden and Liv. Is Liv the sister? So I'm not entirely sure. I just know that's in the same world. And I'm really excited to continue on with this series. So I think this is book number 5. Yes, book number 5 of 7. Alright, here's roll number 6. It's another 5. And this time. Oh, buzzword. I told you at the beginning that I don't have a buzzword book this month. I went and checked again, but I don't have a buzzword book. So I guess we're going to take 8 turns. And let's see what book number 6 of 8 is. Since we landed on wild card again, I'm going to put this one on the bottom. And let's take this. Booktube. So it's like a book that BookTube recommends. Taking another turn for a BookTube book. I'm going to read Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Blake Crouch is so beloved on BookTube. I've heard Dark Matter talked about so much, and I still don't know what it's about. It's like a sci-fi thriller of sorts, and it follows this man who like travels back in time. I'm not entirely sure. This was also on May's TBR, and I didn't get to it, but I really do want to read this one. Even if it's completely outside of my comfort zone and not something I would normally read. So, we really only have one turn left, so let's go to our final turn. Please just be something other than a 5. Like, anything. Okay, it is a 2. Which is like horror or thriller. I got so excited that it wasn't someone else picking a book for me that I immediately stopped and went to go pick out a horror or a thriller book. But I forgot to grab the orange card. So I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. Oh, okay. It's very basic. It's hardcover. The last prompt, the last piece was a horror/thriller, and our prompt was a hardcover book. So I went with a horror novel called Let Him In by William Friend. I mean, look at that cover. It's like iconic, first off. Second off, it follows this family that the mom just died within the last like year, and now Alfie finds out that his twin daughters are seeing this imaginary friend in their closet. They're having trouble sleeping, and you know, at first he's like, okay, well maybe it's just the grief. And, you know, he tries to kind of put it to the back of his mind, and he's like, no, just give them some time. Their mom just passed away. And then things turn. And I heard that's like very literary horror. And it's kind of shorter. So I'm hoping that that'll help, since how I haven't really read anything. In the entire month I only read 5 books, which is not normal for me. But let me get together. Wow, look at her go. Filming a video and editing that same video in the same day. Here's the thing though. In the video I'm like, oh, I need to take an 8th turn. I need to take an 8th turn because I didn't have a book for that prompt, and then I totally ignored the fact that I was supposed to take an 8th turn. So we actually have 1 turn left still. So let me set this up and we can take what this better be my last, right? We'll set up and take my last turn. I'm sorry that I miscounted earlier. All right, here we go. Boom. Okay, a 1, which is yet another fiction, and it has to have a brown cover. There we go. I almost didn't find something. And I was like, no, I don't want another book. But I found the picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. It's definitely fiction. It's like a classic fiction. I think it's a tale of like revenge and murder, which makes me super excited actually. But it's like, yeah, definitely. So that is all the rules now. So I think we're finally done with June's TBR. Please wish me luck. Okay, not all of these, because the first 5 I'm gonna try a chapter tag and only finish one of them. Then I have a romance, a male-male romance, male-female romance, like a regular thriller, like suburban thriller, sci-fi thriller, horror, literary horror, and reread for me. It's also like magical realism, kind of contemporary, but these are all the books that I have to read in June. So don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel if you're new around here. Hopefully June will be better of a reading month for me, because May was not it. I'll see you guys later.